All right, guys, welcome back to Wealth and Travel on a Dime. Now, today I kind of felt like it was really important to bump on my other video ideas and bring you this video because, as being a proponent of using M1, I feel that it's my responsibility to show you these shady changes that have happened that M1 has created for themselves. And I think that in some ways it can benefit us and in some ways it can't. And you're going to have to decide that for yourself and decide if you want to stay or join that platform. Now, that said, we put all the platforms that we use in the description box and the first pinned comment below. You can go check those out, and you'll want to stay to the end of this video, guys, because honestly, we are kind of split on what we're doing, and I'll explain to you exactly what we're doing after the video. So, let's get started by the first thing. If you are with M1, you will know this, but when tax time came, we ended up getting paperwork from Apex Clearing as well as M1 Finance themselves. Now, to explain what happened, we have to go back. And that's why we as investors, or at least those of us that were investors back then, have to take a little responsibility for these changes because back in the day, there was a big thing over the GameStop thing and payment for order flow, and people found out that these companies like M1 and Robinhood were using clearinghouses to move the money through to make the profit to pay for what they do in order to make it free for us. Everybody got up in arms. That was just the worst thing ever. Well, here we are today. It got worse. So Apex is a clearinghouse. They used to pay M1 to run their order flow through there. Usually it would have been like the tiniest percentage of a penny, and it adds up when you got a bunch of money, a bunch of orders, a bunch of people, etc. Now, payment for order flow became very unstylish very fast after the whole GameStop thing, and companies were just trying to get away from it. So M1 brought that in house, but then they weren't making money really. I mean, they had margin, they had different accounts, they had things they can make money off of, but not like what they did before. And that's when the first bad thing happened. And you know what? Most people that have M1 don't even know they're doing this. So the first bad thing is stock lending. Now, bear with me here because this is not like on Robinhood where it asks you constantly, would you like to try stock lending? No, they automatically put your account in stock lending. There's no button to turn it off. They don't tell you. And the only way to get rid of it is to email support. And in the subject line, you have to put an exact thing that I will put up on the screen now. And you will have to follow up on this to make sure they're not lending your stocks out. Now, a lot of people will be like, why do I care if they lend my stocks out? Well, let me explain exactly how stock lending works there. First of all, they give your stock to another person, but the person has to put up the cash or show that they have the cash to cover it if something happens to the stocks. But they still have that cash. They're not giving it to M1. Then on top of that, you're getting a 90% split. So they're getting 90%, you're getting 10%. All right, to basically give your stocks out. Now, the problem here is when you take your stocks and give them to someone else, you have no SPIC insurance anymore. Basically, if M1 shuts down, you're screwed. Now, that probably won't happen. But the fact is, it would then be your responsibility to go to the other person and get your money. And then what if that company folded? Or what if that company folded, which made M1 fold? Just saying. Now, there's other things to look at here. I'm not going to go down the whole like tax efficiency. Dividends don't get paid as dividends because those ain't your stocks. All right, so I'm not sure if there's a capital payment or how that goes for taxes, but I can promise you it is not tax efficient to have this stock lending feature on. Now, this is something that's been going on for a while, and I would highly recommend you guys opt out, especially because we all know that there's multiple ways to invest on this platform with the pies and stuff, but if you're a dividend investor, I would highly recommend to get out of this quickly, because it will make your dividends even less tax efficient and will make things so much worse. Now, if you were to say, well, I'm happy with the 10%, I'll take the chance, I think it's fine, it gets worse. And this is the part that really pushed me over the edge, honestly. So, as of May 2024, M1 is changing their model. Now, I want you to understand, M1 started out as like this little giant. It's going to take on, making investing easy. It's going to take on Robinhood and all the other brokerages, and it's going to be the guy that you can just put your money in. It's safe. Set up your portfolio, your pies, easy to understand. Really could be a small guy building up to a big market of wealth. And they're not that brokerage anymore. And I'll tell you why. Because as of May 2024, if you have less than $10,000 on their platform, now that's across any accounts, it's across their savings, whatever. But if you don't have $10,000 on their platform, they're going to charge you $3 a month. Now, a lot of people be like, $3 a month is nothing. There's platforms everywhere that'll do it for free. Okay, this is why when we went and made a big deal about payment for order flow, something that would have cost you a couple pennies now costs you $3 a month. $3 a month is a big deal, because as long as you're under 10 grand, you're paying $3 a month. All right, $36 a year doesn't sound much. Invest that $36 and let me show you what happens. All right, it's definitely going to be something that anyone with under 10 grand on the platform should run from, honestly. The platform's changing with more costs coming in. That means something is not working. All right, they're already doing stock lending with your stuff. So let me get this straight. I have to pay $3 a month and you're going to lend out my stocks. That's not a great deal, guys. So I do want to put the good side on this, because if you have over $10,000 and plan to keep over $10,000 on their platform, you can get M1 Plus for free starting in May. Now, that includes a lot of different benefits: lower margin rate, savings, different things. But you have to ask yourself what works for you, because there's an awful lot of platforms that offer you an awful lot better deal for nothing. Now, I promised to talk to you guys about our accounts and what we're doing, because we always try and be transparent here. And with Missy having a taxable account and her Roth there, and me having a taxable account and my Roth there, but having very different outlooks on what's going on with that money, we're going in two different ways on this. And we're agreed to do it this way. It's just this is how the cookie crumbled. So Missy has about 30K, I think, in her taxable, and I'm not sure what's in her Roth over there. But she's well above that 10K. All right, and she's already opted out of the stock lending. So essentially, this doesn't affect her, and she's going to get M1 Plus for free, but we probably won't really use any of it. Me, on the other hand, I used my taxable account over there. For years, I used it just to build upon to help pay off any bills we had or debt we had. So I was using it kind of like a high interest savings account, but just a place to park money to pay things off or future encounters. You know what I mean? Replace a car, whatever. And I had it set up so it didn't really matter what the market conditions were. It was going to be making money. A little index, little high yield dividend. It kind of could just weather itself. Maybe they're not the highest earner, but better than a high yield savings account. But I don't have 10K in there. And I don't generally keep $10,000 as what some people might call an emergency fund or might call whatever. So it doesn't really make sense for me to keep it on that platform. If they're charging me $3 a month, I can go to plenty of other platforms and for free. And then my Roth, I only have $3,000, I think, in my Roth. So it wasn't really worth it for me to stay there. So here's where things went real south. And I will be upfront that I did identify myself as a YouTube channel. I did say I was making a video on this, but I had an issue with transferring. Now I was transferring all this to Robinhood. I've been in contact with Robinhood customer service, who was much quicker to answer and talk to me and help me with things. But M1 has not been. And we've tried to send my brokerage account, my taxable account, 3 times, and it's failed. And I finally gave up, and I'm liquidating it, cash money, and taking it out. The filming of this is Good Friday, so the markets are closed. They can't do anything. So hopefully Monday it gets sold and I can withdraw it. But yeah, I've given up on that. I literally cannot transfer my brokerage. It just won't happen. But here's where the real bad comes, and I am not happy. I went to transfer my Roth. It should take 2 to 3 days normally. At the 4th day, I was talking to Robinhood, and they're like, it's them. It's M1. Transition's there. I said, my account's paused on their end, so they're doing something. And they finally, after 7 days, now 5 business days, 2 days on the weekend, the next day, so basically 8 if you want to count the morning, it transferred with a $200 deficit. So I'm like, let me get this straight. You transferred my Roth and accepted a $200 deficit. And basically, the simple fact I was told by Robinhood is either A, it's a fee, or B, you owed money, or C, it's a clawback. Now, I don't know of any fees to withdraw. There could be. There could be a clawback from a bonus. I mean, I've had it there for 4 years. So maybe it's like a $200 bonus when I signed up. But whatever it is, I just lost $200 trying to transfer out of M1. That's a problem, guys. So if you can't transfer out of a brokerage without accepting a $200 fee or whatever, or if it's a clawback, I haven't seen anything about that. I will say that I went and looked closely at Robinhood, and if they give you a bonus, it says right there in big bold letters, if you remove it in less than 5 years, there will be clawback. So, that was very blatant. I saw that right up front. It's right there. I mean, you can't miss it. When you go to do transfers, when you're actually looking at your account, it says it in big bold letters. And one definitely is not that up front. But they don't want to talk to me now. They found out I was doing a YouTube video on that, and they do not want to speak to me. I've tried to get a hold of their support. Obviously, they don't. They say they do, but they don't have 24/7 support like Robinhood does. Today's a holiday, and no one will answer anything. Emails, they say multiple days. It generally takes me about 3 to 5 days to get a hold of someone at M1 through email. It's just not a good scene, and I am not happy. Now, I kind of feel like their platform is going a different direction. They want the high earners. They want the people with lots of stocks so they can borrow them out in blocks. I think they think we're ignorant about the stock lending thing, and that they don't need to boldly have it flashing that you have stock lending turned on. I think that a lot of people talk badly about Robinhood, but I'm seeing a lot worse business practices from M1 here. I don't think that they're not a good platform if you are going to keep a lot of money in there, but I don't think that I would go there to start my investing journey. And if you're going to go somewhere and start your investing journey, I mean, there's plenty of other platforms that do it much cheaper and much more upfront. I mean, if you don't like Robinhood, there's Webull, there's so many others that we can go to, Moomoo, that have so much better customer service, business practices, whatever you want to call it. But there's some shady stuff going on here, guys. And they are just sticking it to the small guy, the guy that needs the help to get going, the guy that wants to be motivated. You're taking from the little guy that's just trying to get started and scraping that $3 a month off of him. You are taking a beating. It's like taxing the rich because they have more money, but the opposite's taxing the little guy because, whatever. It doesn't make any sense. I think it's a poor business model, and I think they're going to feel it in the long term, and I hope that they turn it around because this is a real bad look. And they obviously were not appreciating the fact that I was honest about and upfront about making a video. I would say if you're a new investor, unless you got 10 grand to drop, I'd probably go below and use the link to one of the other brokerages and not go to M1. If you're in M1 and you don't have 10K in there, I would put 10K in there, or I would figure out a way to get off the platform without getting charged a fortune. Because I don't know, if it's clawback, then you're all going to get clawed back whatever they gave you up front. If it's a fee, and that's exponential fee, that's bad. That means a couple $1,000s cost me $200. Imagine what like $20,000 in a Roth would cost. I don't know. They won't talk to me. They won't get back to me. So at this point, there's not much more I can do. I feel like it was necessary for me to make this. I know a lot of creators are hiding in the corner, cowering, pretending like this isn't happening. That's not me. I'm going to come tell you exactly what's going on, exactly how I feel. I really don't care if brokerages like what I say or not. It's pretty much irrelevant to me. I do think Missy's fine staying there. I don't think your money's in trouble. But I think M1 just shot itself in the foot. And a lot of people around here are going to start saying it long term. I think a lot of creators are going to start talking about this because it's an issue and it should be dealt with. And shame on you, M1, for taking advantage of the guy that's just trying to start out. But with that said, if you haven't already, and I don't know why you wouldn't have, guys, go down, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell so you see all of our upcoming videos. Leave us a like. Let me know down in the comments, do you have an account at M1? Are you going to stay or are you leaving? More power to you either way. We support you in whatever you do. Continue your investing journey. Start your investing journey. Do whatever you have to do, but make that money make money so you can have a future for you, yourself, and your family. And I'll see you in the next one.